Well, we got more Motorsport Games news that came out. A lot of S's there, but Mike Straw made a post on Twitter. I'm talking about some of this stuff, so let's go through it, and I'll give you my thoughts. First off, before I actually give my thoughts, there was the other stuff that came out with. Oh my god, what the hell was it? This is sad. I can't fucking remember. Okay, so in this tweet here, we have basically an investor call came out. Basically, the IndyCar game won't be released, even though the road plan, nothing's changed, full speed ahead, and they lied. So that's fun. That's not coming out. Apparently, Motorsport Games' net loss is around $35.9 million. God damn. And what games are they releasing to recoup those losses? NASCAR Rivals, I think. That's about it, but I don't think you're getting 36 million copies sold. So, yeah, they are hemorrhaging and bleeding money, unlike anything that I've really ever seen from at least a NASCAR game. So, yeah, it's wild. It's absolutely insane. And that's not good. Mike Straw also dropped these stories that were posted before months ago with the NASCAR 23 still in design phase, which was, I think he posted that in January. If we open this tab open here. Yeah, January 13th. So, yeah. And basically the design phase means like literally like the first step. It's super duper early on. So, yeah, just he was reposting some of that stuff. There was the hoping for more Sport Games news next week, which this was on March 24th. This is a new week. It's Monday, so there was new things posted. So let's actually get into that. Okay, so here's the NASCAR thing. So it says, sources tell me that NASCAR 23 never fully made it out of the design stage. The game was never going to be reality this year. After a while, everyone just assumed it would be another update, one source said. So, yeah, not promising. That pretty much confirms that NASCAR 23 just will not happen. And it's pretty fucking sad. But what about that yearly license thing? Wasn't that a thing? They have to release it. They gotta release it. Well, apparently not. That's not a thing. So I'm tired of that narrative. I used to believe that narrative. Not anymore. So that's stupid. It's sad and quite a shame, really. But like I was thinking, yeah, 23 would have been literally just like NASCAR Rivals. Like the NASCAR Rivals game, but DLC. So yeah, it's just sad. So the next thing, the 2022 update for Heat 5 was shelved a while back, but Motorsport Games decided to not make any public comments about it. They just continue to dig themselves in this hole. What was so wrong about it coming out eventually and saying that it's not going to happen? The 22 update was mentioned in October, November, December, January, February, March, 5 months. And yeah, from what I was told, or at least not what I was told, but from what Alan Bailey said, he has a lot more insider info and everything. He was saying that the 22 update would basically just break the game and just wouldn't work and would just like not literally break the game in terms it wouldn't even start. You couldn't even boot the game up. The sound would break. Everything. It could not handle it. Now, from what I was told from High TV, the NASCAR Heat 5 online console, they're running it off of a 2018-2019 Unity engine. Well, NASCAR Rivals, they're using like a 2020 version of Unity, which I guess is a lot easier to work with, or it's easier to kind of manage. So I'm pretty sure what they did is kind of like port the files from Heat 5 stuff into Rivals, and for the most part, it seemed like it worked. It worked loosely, but all things considered, it was able to function. Even that's a stretch, but yeah, so like that's kind of what I've been hearing with that. But yeah, this is just, again, how many more times do I have to reiterate the point? Motorsport Games have slaughtered and murdered their trust with the community, and at a level that would make EA blush. It's just embarrassing. It's sad. We're going to be more transparent, what DK said. That was just a bullshit lie. What other way? Like, it's been a year, and he himself has not come out. The face of the company, the CEO, the head honcho, and has said nothing. The only bits we ever hear from him is from these investor calls where he has to legitimately actually be there. Everything else, no. And of course, if we were to say anything, it would be bad news. But it's better to be more transparent and let people... How come I have the conscience, the foresight? I think, well, then again, I think human beings would have the foresight or just common sense of, hey, I'm running this thing. Let's be just transparent with shit. They should have said back in December. And then DK even... I don't even know if I can even find the tweet. But DK made a tweet like just a month ago saying NASCAR 2022 is still being worked on. Like a month ago. And apparently from what this phrasing, it was shelved a while back. Now, what does a while back mean? Does a while back mean 1 month ago, 2 months ago, or was DK lying about that tweet he was saying? I don't know, but with the track record that he has, it's almost next to impossible to even believe really anything he says. So I don't know. Was that tweet just saying face, just giving people false hope? I don't know, but just the situation is so gross. And this is what IndyCar has to deal with. IndyCar fans have to deal with. I mean, that whole situation too is terrible. It's awful. They ripped the rights away from iRacing because the iRacing's licensing thing ran out. Then Motorsport Games took it, and now they're holding the IndyCar license hostage. And then DK's message in the phone call saying that IndyCar has not had a dedicated game for 10 years. That's not true. That's a flat out lie. Again, to make the situation not seem as bad. We'll just look it up. Now, if he's going by, like, I guess an IndyCar related game, what does that mean? Does that mean something that was like an add-on in Forza, in Gran Turismo? Or are we literally going back to like 2011 with the IndyCar, like Indy Revolution? I don't know. But if we're going by fully licensed IndyCar game, let's I'm gonna look it up. We'll look it up together. IndyCar 2005, because this is the last IndyCar game that came out. And this was, 2004? This was the most recent one, apparently. So, IndyCar Series video games. So, what's the most recent one? We'll just look it up together. Like, the last fully licensed IndyCar game. IndyCar Series 2005. Released in 2004. So, that was the last officially released one. Now, obviously, on here, there's a lot of just different ones. There's iRacing. I mean, do we count Car Town? Is he referring to Forza 5, Forza 6? What is he referring to? I don't know, but saying IndyCar game in general is too vague. But like I said, the last fully licensed IndyCar game was 2004, so it's not 10 years. It's damn near 20 years. It's not actually the 19th year without a fully licensed IndyCar game. So that's a whole other lie. It's just, you have to shovel out the bullshit because it's just so, you can't trust him. Everything he says, you have to like stop, pause, do some research, and figure things out because I don't believe him with things. It's just sad. That's how little faith and trust. Even as bad as Cyberpunk was, the head honcho came out and announced something was wrong. Not this town hall that doesn't count. It's bullshit. Because nothing was delivered, nothing was promised. And that was just stupid. But whatever. It's just, it pisses me off. NASCAR gaming as a whole is so dead, been utterly destroyed. And Motorsport Games just continues this path of just absolutely murdering franchises. It's destroyed IndyCar, and now it's done this with NASCAR. Well, first it was NASCAR, then IndyCar. Which that's a whole other tangent of how IndyCar is so blinded with this situation. I don't know the logistics of it, when they officially got the license or the rights or whenever this contract came to be, because it was at some time in 2021. Was it before Ignition or after Ignition? Either way, it's still bad. I'll explain. So before Ignition, Motorsport Games never made a game. Why give a company that has no prior gaming experience or gaming anything a license to something? It's stupid. It was stupid with NASCAR, stupid with IndyCar. If this contract was after Ignition, that's actually even worse because they've objectively made the most broken, horrific NASCAR game of all time. And no, we're not going to go back like 25 years and be like, okay, technically NASCAR Legends was worse. No, in the modern day, in this 21st century, it is by far the worst. From what came before, what came after, the worst, bar none. Who's playing Ignition? Of the top NASCAR content creators, it's Radman. That's it. Nobody else. Moose doesn't do it. Winfield doesn't. I stopped February last year with the career mode. There's no top NASCAR content creators playing it except for Radman. And he's milked that for all it's worth, releasing 2 videos a week maybe, and just dragging on the season for so long. Just oh god, it's gross. But yeah, I mean, it's what hope is there? There isn't. There is not any. From what Alan Bailey said on Twitter, it might be my replies, but basically saying that NASCAR is trying to. There's lawsuits. There's lawsuits all over, but it's gonna take years. It may take 2 to 4 years to get that whole thing situated. There's a lot of behind the scenes things that are going on, which means from now to like 2027, there may not be a NASCAR game, which sucks big time for the consumers. It sucks for future fans and for future generations that have gotten into the sport because of NASCAR gaming. That's how I got into it, playing NASCAR 2000. That was kind of like the gateway. A lot of other people, it's the Thunder games. A lot of other people, now it's like the Attendix games. Some might be from the Heat games now. And that's such a gateway. But NASCAR doesn't see it as that. They just see it as a paycheck because the license it's an exclusive license. They get that guaranteed pocket money, and then that's it. What really should be done is to open the license, let anyone do it. If Motorsport Games wants to be stupid and awful, sure, go ahead. But let other companies make it. Really, let other people make it. In fact, it'll be better if there's competition. In the early 2000s, we had Dirt Daytona, NASCAR Heat 2002, the EA games. There was competition, and that's good for business. It makes one company strive to be better than the other by making a better game and trying, not just being guaranteed the license. That's what happened with EA. That's why EA's license, or that's why that fell apart, because they got the license, like the exclusivity rights, in like September of 2003. Thunder 04 was just about to be released by that point in time. NASCAR 05, you saw some improvements, but they took away some things. NASCAR 06, that was the beginning of the downfall, and everything just slowly kept progressively getting worse as the years went on. And getting exclusive rights, that just kind of hinders it. That's what's happened with Madden. It doesn't really do anything. It's not a positive thing. It's the only people that get benefited from it is the company that's doing those games, and football, NFL, NASCAR. They're the only ones benefiting from it. The fans really aren't, because they're not really getting different games or having competition between, like, the golf games most recently are getting that between 2K and EA. I think that's freaking sweet. Sure, but we got to end this exclusivity rights license shit. It has to end, because this is to keep NASCAR fans basically held hostage with all this. It's just disgusting, and Motorsport Games just continues to just put themselves in a horrific spot. Will they ever die? I don't know. With Brian France still being a part of them, that's not a thing. That is a thing. It's not a stretch. It is a thing. If you look it up, it is. Unless the site is not updated anymore. But even if not, they will always have the sugar daddy of motorsport.com to bail them out. So and Motorsport.com is a much bigger part of it. So I don't know if they'll actually ever die. I don't know. We'll see. But, I mean, they're hemorrhaging $36 million a year, and there's no other games really to come out. Like, it's just going to keep getting worse. They've destroyed the fan base's community on such a level, and everything about this is just depressing, and it's sad. And then the content creator me is terrified. What on earth can I possibly do? I don't know. I've played every NASCAR game that has a career mode. I could go further back. That's always an option. I just, I don't know. It's just unfortunate. For people that are not on the inside or just don't know, when you're a content creator that's making videos covering these NASCAR games, the biggest part of the whole year is when a new game comes out. You make videos, those get views, money, monetary things, and everybody wins in that time period when a new game comes out. It's a good time. It's fun for the channel. When you don't have that, it's gonna hurt. Like, everyone, bigger or smaller, in the YouTube NASCAR content creator scene that plays these games, it's gonna hurt them to some extent. Now, some people probably won't hurt as much as others, but for me, it'll probably be a big deal because those are the biggest times of the year for me. So I don't know what on earth I'm gonna do. I know I'm going to hear all those comments. Well, maybe you should get a job. That might actually have to happen. That might be a realistic thing that'll happen someday. But yeah, it just sucks. It sucks for the casual people, and it sucks for people that play these games to live off of. It's sad. It's just a shame. And it just continues to get worse. And now, I haven't made a video about it, but now we have NASCAR Heat 5 and Heat 4 online on the Xbox. It does not work. They somehow messed that up. And since they literally have a skeleton crew of less than 5 people working there, who's actually working on that? Who's actually, I don't know. And in the preference, if you're on the Xbox side of things, you're screwed. You're just, unless you want to play NASCAR 15, that's always an option. But Heat 3, 2, and Evolution, their online servers have been gone years ago. And Heat 4 and 5 are the only 2 ones. And that was where most people kind of migrate to because Ignition is terrible. I'm sorry, Ignition's online is awful. I've seen maybe 2 people defend Ignition's online because, it's stable. Well, one, that's because Motorsport games had nothing to do with the online side of things. That's ironically enough, because they didn't touch it, it's somebody else's thing. That's why it's good. Number 2, it takes a lot for things to actually go smoothly. Sometimes when you start a race, people are wrecking. Sometimes when you start a race, you're on pit road. It's a mixed bag. Say if you're running a lobby with 15 people, at Daytona, there's just a big wreck behind you, and you're only running with 4 people for 10 laps at Daytona. Because, that's fun. Because people behind you, it starts you and it makes you wreck and puts you sideways, and it's bad. And you can't really control the lobby. It's a very Mario Kart style, which again is delusional and absolute insanity that they would even think to do something like that, because every other NASCAR game that came before, if they did their research, if they actually gave a shit, they would know that that's not how it's done. That does not work with the NASCAR game. You can go back to NASCAR 09, it's so foreign. It's almost like it was made by Russians. But it's just, the online is sad. You can't control the race. You can't do league racing. That's killed. People that are doing Heat 5 and stuff for league racing, that's killed. That's destroyed. Same with Heat 4. So, unless you want to do NASCAR 15, then be my guest. But that's the thing. You have to go back to a game and a company that literally does not exist anymore. And go back to 2015, that was 7 years ago, to race online NASCAR. And I don't want to hear this argument of, let's go get iRacing. Well, iRacing's not for everyone, and it's super expensive. So, in terms of the console side things, with Xbox, they're screwed. Unless they want to play Ignition. Disco Inferno brought up a good theory that might as well be a conspiracy theory, that they purposely got rid of the Heat 5 servers so it will entice people to go to Ignition. Is it possible? Maybe. Could it be just that they're just very incompetent and they can't fix it? Probably. I don't know. I don't know which one it is, but the situation is sad. And if you've seen this tweet here, it says somebody said, "What about the Heat 5 servers for Xbox? It's still not working. It's been about a month. A fucking month. Jesus Christ, has it been a month? Oh my God. Maybe it's 3 weeks. I don't know, but still, that's way too long for an issue to permeate like this." So Mike Straw said he reached out several times, not a single response when asking about that status. So that's sad. I mean, this is worse than when NASCAR didn't have a game in like 2010. Because at the very least, you had NASCAR Online, which is a very stable server. Granted, that game was trash. The only thing that people liked to race at was at the super speedways because it was fun. Like everywhere else, the handling was trash. And I think probably because a lot of people like racing those tracks because it's not as difficult as other tracks. But the online was generally stable. So like people had that. I mean, with Ignition, you kind of have stable lobbies, but you have like none of the options. You can't set a race length. You can't kick the people you want. You can't make private servers, or at least you can, but you still can't make a race whatever length you want. You can't adjust the tire wear. You can't do any of that. So it's a lost cause. And everything about this situation is terrible, and it's sad. And the fact that Motorsport Games themselves have not come out to admit to these things, I think their silence speaks chapters and volumes at this point. And what can they do to redeem themselves? I mean, you can get rid of DK, but they'll just get someone else that's just as insane as him. I mean, you just need to literally just burn everything down and start from just ground zero. I don't know. It's just a frustrating situation. I mean, like I've said twice now in this video, but they have slaughtered the trust with the community in the likes that I've never seen before. With just a lack of communication. Even Technics, they had their forums where the devs would like try to police things and like try to respond. Here, it's just next to nothing now. And it's just a shame. It's just a shame. There's so much hype with the game. But I think before the game came out, even I was getting skeptical because nothing else was being shown. And yeah, it's bad. It's so depressing to think about. It's frustrating to talk about because it's so negative that even I don't want to talk about. And that says a lot because I'm a ranty person. So, but people want to know my thoughts on these things. So I hopefully this was sufficient enough. I don't know. Just big props to Mike Straw for always talking about these things. But yeah, everything about this is just bad. And it's just awful. But like I was saying, I mean, everything that they were telling us was a lie. Everything. Damn near. I don't know. It's just they're saying, things are first it was, NASCAR 23, it will be pushed to this year. Oh, it's going to be this and that. Like they just keep pushing the goalpost. They had this roadmap. They're lying to people about the game coming out. Then it won't. Then it's a DLC. Now it's like, oh well, now it's not coming out at all. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. Maybe if they sold, this is the thing too. Like apparently in Motorsport Games, they just have like a thing for collecting, like 1/24th scale, like just cars, not like diecast, not like NASCAR diecast, but just 1/24th scale cars of any kind. Maybe if they start selling those on eBay, maybe they can still pay their employees, which is still a thing that I don't even think all of them are even fully paid yet. That's another thing too. That was a whole saga for like 4 months. People weren't fucking paid. I mean, absolute insanity. I mean, as bad as EA is, I mean, at this point, people are just desperate. People are saying like, "Oh, we'll take 2K. We'll take EA." That's how bad it's gotten. Do I want them back? No. Do I want 2K? No. But when things are this awful, they would at least release a game. At least they will have the basic rules of shit. cautions are still broken where if the leader is on a certain lap and you're not on the same lap as them, it'll automatically put you a lap down. Wave rounds aren't a thing. You cannot have a normal race. If you want to run a 25% race, it just cannot be done. Things break. Like the caution thing, or the way the AI react with contact, where you ram into them and then you wreck, or the sensitivity of the car when you're driving. I mean, unless you're Austin Oganowski levels of talent, you can't really run anything in the game without some form of assist, which they were boasting that in the town hall, basically saying to get better if you're running with assist, or why the car turns to left because of an off-caster setup, and Brian Moody ripped them to shreds on that point about. And then DK was talking about like he wants 3-year-olds and adults to have the same level of enjoyment, and basically saying that a 3-year-old should understand why a car turns to left because of an off-caster setup, and just absolute ridiculousness. I mean, what fucking 3-year-old is going to understand the intricacies of a stock car? Yeah, go ahead and talk to them about sequential shifting. I'm sure they're going to be able to pencil that into their just development. Just absurd, utter insanity. And then also they overlooked stages, a core component. That's literally like as if in football you forget to code in that you can get field goal points, or you forget to code in like safety points. It's like that, or it's like forgetting that there's strikes in baseball, or you can get a ball in baseball, or double plays don't exist. It's on that level of just. It's like forgetting there's hockey pucks. Skateboarding. It's like as if they overlooked wheels. It's. I mean, I've never seen something so inept of just basic things. It's unrivaled. Unrivaled. I don't know. I'm done. I don't know what more I can possibly say. This whole situation, I mean, we are living through what could be a Netflix documentary series on just the history of motorsport games. It really could be a documentary series of just how bad things got, what went wrong. Maybe by 2033, we'll be able to find more information, and just, this stuff will be just a wild relic that we had to live through. And Monster Games and iRacing, they have the rights, and yeah, the game will have problems, or but at least it won't be like Ignition. We can chuckle about that and giggle, and I don't know. It's just frustrating, man. I don't know what do I possibly say. It's just a shame. It's so sad. It's fucking depressing, man. I'm done. I know I rambled on way too long, but there's a lot that I missed that I have not made a video on, and I just wanted to belt it all out. And apparently, from what Mike Strauss said, more to come in like a new story, hopefully later this week. So maybe you'll see me make another video of these. I don't know, but that's my thoughts. I'm done. Take care.